Hello, welcome to the 3inMidfield podcast, the podcast where three friends who all had dreams of becoming professional footballers, they were dashed away when we all discovered food, have their say on the Premier League. It's getting better, man. It wasn't quite there. I thought I had it. But it wasn't.
Don't
No.
watch. It's getting smoother. Don't watch that.
We keep going, man. Obviously, we are joined by the ever-present Coach Kojo. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. We had a nice morning out. Me and David took some of the students out today. Had a nice breakfast. Has hot chocolate, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling alive today. I'm good. How you doing?
Feeling all warm inside you with that hot chocolate. Any marshmallows?
No, I don't do them things there, man.
What's the point, man? What's the point?
There's nothing wrong with it, but it's like a nice plain hot chocolate. I don't put cream on top. I don't put no marshmallows. I just add a little bit of sugar, just a little dash. You know what I mean? You got to do salt baitings in there.
Utterly disgraceful. I would say we would elevate this podcast with good opinion, but we've got two Tottenham fans, so it kind of does nothing. Anyway, Darren T, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Thank you very much. Once again, thanks for having me on the show. Had a strenuous morning shopping, got a parking ticket. Yeah, not too pleased. You know why? I paid for parking, but I paid for it on the wrong road. So when I got back in the car, I see the penalty charge notice. Screwing. I am now £40 lighter. But yeah, I'm fuming. It was the dumbest thing.
Damn.
So stupid. Bro, I thought I had all the bases covered. Come back 2 hours later.
So,
anyway, I'm good.
And David, first time, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, excited to be on the show. Came off the back of a good win yesterday. I'm buzzing to speak about my team. Had a good morning. Like Michael said, took the students out. Had some hot chocolate as well, so I'm all warm inside. I'm ready to go.
Let's get into it. Let's start on Friday. Leeds United 3, Aston Villa 0. Aston Villa, they were 12 points up at the time. They won every one of their games. So obviously came off the back of beating Liverpool 7-2, and we will never forget to mention that here. Patrick Bamford ends up bagging a hat-trick against them. What went wrong for Aston Villa, coach?
They became very, very complacent real quick. I think after Grealish had his shot cleared off the line, they posed no threat to Leeds whatsoever. It felt quite simple and quite easy for Leeds. You know how much I hate trash defending, right? Patrick Bamford had the time of his life, and certain founding members of this podcast, yep, I hope you're watching. I hope you will listen to this. Yeah, certain Tyrone Mings fans. If Bamford is standing right in front of you, why are you not closing him down whatsoever? He sort of turned his back, stretched his back leg out. I'm going to do the full action as well, right there. Like, just very appalling defending. So it's easy for Bamford to pull a shot off. But the credit to him, the shot, the second goal anyway, the effort was fantastic. And after the first goal, to be honest, it was just very easy for Leeds, and they took well advantage very well. Bamford with 2 top goals to get his hat-trick as well. So, yeah, that's where we're on for me. Poor defending and complacency after Grealish had his chance cut off the line.
Patrick Bamford, though, is this the first of many, or the first 3 of many, or is it just should we temper expectations, Darren?
Gosh, do you know what, right? I've never been a massive Patrick Bamford fan. He misses too many goals, but he's always there or thereabouts. However, he's got the technical ability to really go to really bang like 15 plus a season. So with that, I'm still on the fence with him. So I'm gonna see how he goes from here. He just really needs to keep the momentum going. So we'll see in the next game. Because for me, he just misses too many. He misses too much. But I won't say he's
final
crap,
question.
He's not rubbish. But,
sure? You sure? I don't know, man. I think he's a good championship level striker. I think he's gifted far too much time especially in the media as well. Gifted far too much time for all. No, I don't see it. Don't see it at all.
Well, I think what was it last year? I think last year in Championship, he started off like a house on fire as well. He had 3 away games where he scored goals in each and every game. So, he stepped up to a higher level and he's doing it again. But the reason why Leeds fans are not particularly fond of him is because, well, after he does this, Bamford goes from, let me say Vegeta to Krillin real quick. It just changes like that. You know what I'm saying? So, if he can keep it up, then obviously they'll be happy with him. And their main concern was they lost Augustin on his loan, in it. So they're thinking, what can they do? Rodrigo's come in, he's had a decent start, but if Bamford can maintain the form, he can remain the starting striker.
Is Bielsa starting to find his legs in the Premier League? Because this is a very convincing victory, a team that haven't lost any games so far in the Premier League, and to go to their place and win 3-0, that's something special, right, David?
Yep, definitely a statement. I think like all season long, Leeds have been very good. Like they haven't really put a foot wrong with any of their performances in any of their games. And I think against Aston Villa, they really sort of asserted their dominance in terms of like relative to other players within the league. I think Aston Villa have had a great start to the season, but they haven't really, aside from the Liverpool game, I think they beat Sheffield United, who had 10 men. Who else did they beat? They beat West Brom, I think 3-0. So I think this was the first sort of even match, like real test. Obviously, Liverpool game, I don't know, Liverpool was sleeping. I don't know what happened to them. It was a great performance, not to take anything away from Aston Villa. And today, like you guys said, I think they were a bit complacent. They started off slow. They had the early chance from Jack Grealish, but then they never really kicked on. And then the defending was a bit lazy. Like with Patrick Bamford's first goal, when the save came in, and then none of the defenders reacted quick enough. So I think this was a good game for Leeds to come and sort of show that they're here to stay in the Premier League. Like they're not going to be part of the relegation scrappers. They're going to be pushing on for probably just outside the top 4 mid-table. I think it was a good statement from Bielsa on his side.
We'll move to Saturday's fixtures. West Ham 1, Manchester City 1. My guy Mikel Antonio with a nice overhead kick. I say many times, he just does his job, man. He's there for a reason, and he does his job. And he does it consistently, and that was one of the best goals of the season so far. Unexpected as well. West Ham took the lead 18 minutes, and Phil Foden, I think he came on at halftime as he did, and he got the equaliser. But it's not looking. For one, West Ham have proven that they're quite hard to beat, especially at home. But 2, City are struggling right now, and I don't think they have any idea how to get out of that rut.
Yeah.
Plenty injuries again. Like, well, you know how it is with Aguero. You know he's going to get a lot of injuries. Jesus is injured quite right now as well. You don't know when Laporte's going to eventually get another injury. He's just recovered from a knock, just about made it on the plane for the Champions League. The problem with City, for me, is they were found out last year. And I say found out in the sense that they were nowhere near Liverpool. So you've gone from 100 points and then 98 points to a team that finished with 99 points and you were nowhere to be found. No, so was everyone else. Everyone else was nowhere to be found. But obviously, you were the chief top runners. You had won the league 2 years in a row. So could you three-peat or could you at least get close? And they were nowhere near close. And this year, they've added Nathan Ake, a player that me and UK we've had our doubts about in the first place anyway. They've added Ferran Torres.
I thought that was a smart signing, to be honest with you. But
well, okay, all right, maybe just me then. Ferran Torres, a good young talent. I had no problem with that. I think he's a good young talent that's going to get better. And Ruben Dias, who I've spoken highly about. So I'm not here to criticize their signings, but at the same time, they spent a lot of money on defenders and they're still not improving defensively. So there's a problem there. Left back, not good enough. Benjamin Mendy is not good enough. And then the replacement, Zinchenko, is he's a midfielder playing in a position that he shouldn't be playing in. Before that, it was Fabian Delph. Cancelo, after spending so much money on him last season, is only now really getting a run in the team. You still don't trust John Stones. And Ederson is not a great goalkeeper, if I'm being honest. He's great with his feet, he's a good shot stopper, but when you want him to do other things, he's not good at it. And that's why they're being targeted. That's why someone like Antonio can use his body back to goal and score a goal like that. Quality, indeed, the goal it was, but it was easy. It was an easy goal. It's going to keep it real. And because they are suffering so many injuries going forward, they lack that threat that they once had, obviously, apart from KDB and Raheem Sterling. Mahrez has started poorly this season as well. So I've told you what I feel about certain gods of management, haven't I? I've told you what I feel about him. I've told you how from maybe early on in our podcast when I told you the guy's an emotional wreck. And when he's rattled and he's got an opponent that can hit him, he's not the same manager. And when it happened to him in Spain, when Mourinho rattled him and won the league, he wasn't the same. He went away, went to Bayern. He won the leagues with Bayern, but there's one manager he couldn't beat, Jurgen Klopp. And now Jurgen Klopp's at a club that can spend money because they make money very well in transfers, but they also spend big. And now he's got a level playing field in terms of the quality of players in the starting 11 anyway. And because Salah and Mane are hardly ever injured, they can maintain their consistency and keep going. And now he's falling behind the pack. So I don't want to get onto his neck too early right now because it's too early in the season. But right now, they are. The fact is, they're only 2 points off Man United. That's disgusting. I'll leave it. I'll say it like that. They're 2 points off, like ahead of United. That's poor. They should be clear of us. That's how I see it. Like you've set levels in the last 2 or 3 years. So what's happening now? Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not impressed by them right now. But long may it continue.
You said. Go on.
Oh no, so I was gonna say, what we're saying. I think the attack is still fine. Like at least like going back to last season, they scored like over 100 goals, and it's just been the defensive issue. And I think ever since they've lost company, they've lost that leader. Like that's why they just can't organize themselves when they're getting attacked. Like they can't defend. And I don't think Rodri's a great defensive midfielder. Like, and having Fernandinho have to be a makeshift centre back, it's not really working. And they haven't found the right formula. They haven't found the right leader to replace company. Like, I think who's the captain now? Is it De Bruyne? I don't think he's like I don't think he's really a leader like that. And then outside of him, there's nobody else that will be vocal like company was to get the defenders like switched on. And we see that happening with Kyle Walker like switching off at moments, and then that lets in teams like against Leeds. And I think that's really been the main issue. And it always happens. I think like Guardiola's problem is as a manager, he's not really a defensive coach. I don't think he knows how to like organize his defense and set it up. Like because his teams are always very attacking minded. Like we've seen even with his Barcelona team. Barcelona when he was there, they were never a great defensive team. It was just that they had possession, they had the best midfielders, strikers going forward, and they would always they'd outscore you and they wouldn't give you enough of the ball to score any goals. But then people wisened up to that, which we saw like in his final season with Barca, and then they started like shipping goals and PK, all the defenders. They actually got found out when Barcelona were on the back foot, and the same thing's happening now at City. They don't have that leader. Like at Barcelona again, when Puyol retired, they lost that leader at Barcelona. Nobody else could really keep the defenders awake, and that's the problem. Like we always have you heard the joke? Arteta was the real manager at City. Now that he's gone, they don't know how to defend anymore. And I think I'm not too sure how he's going to react to that, but it'll be interesting to see how things play out over the next couple of games and weeks.
Is he capable of rebuilding in his side? Because obviously when he started Barcelona, they were in a bit of a rut. But then he also had the benefit of having Iniesta, Xavi, Pedro, Messi, Busquets, PK, etc., all these quality players behind him that were young and hungry that obviously led to much success at Barcelona. Then he went to Bayern Munich and he had this team that obviously just won everything, any whenever they wanted and whenever they felt like it, to be honest with you. And then he came to City, similar kind of setup. They weren't exactly consistent with their winning of titles, but he made them consistent. They had a good base. And now that base is gone. No Silva, no company. Aguero's wrong side of 30 and injured all the time. KDB's at 30 as well. Can he rebuild this time? Is he the man to rebuild, or is he a manager that rides off the coattails of others?
That's what a lot of people say. I personally, I don't think he's the manager to rebuild the team, to like come in, turn around a team that's not really playing well. I love Guardiola, and I'd always say if I have the best 11 players in the world in each of their positions, I'd want him to be manager because he'd get them to play the most exciting football, the best football to watch. But if we're talking about sort of a rebuilding job, getting under like players that aren't as good or like average to good players, turning them into world-class players, I don't think he's the manager for that. And I think that's where he struggles. Once his team start going downhill, he can't really turn that around.
Darren T?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm kind of in agreement. I think if Pep was to rebuild, he would have done it already. He's tried it's just like he's just trying all these different permutations and it's not working. I think he's gotten stale at City, and I think City have gotten stale with him. And I personally think they need a fresh start. It was criminal that they didn't even bother to replace Company with some form of proper leadership last season, right? And it showed. And this season, I haven't seen, apart from, yes, they've signed Fernan Torres, yes, they've signed Ruben Diaz, but it's going to take them time to settle in. And I don't see anything different. I don't see much different at the moment. Yes, they'll attack, but you can catch them. You can catch them in defence. A half decent team will catch them and score goals against them. Now, bear in mind, I don't think they haven't been Tottenham in about 2 or 3 seasons. So, you know, I don't fear City. I don't fear Pep. I just don't. Right, and West Ham didn't. You know what I mean? After their cup final last week, right? They were buoyant. You know, and they thought, they went and gave it to City and. Yeah, they went and gave it to City, and I'll shout out Mikel Antonio because he's Mr. Dependable. I will tell you that, Mr. Dependable. Whatever position you want to put him in, you put him in. You know, and City couldn't handle him for that goal. But yeah, for me, like, I'm not saying Pep isn't a great manager. He's a wonderful manager, but I said a long time ago that City are going to take years to win the Champions League, and they look even further away than previously. Than when Pep first came. So I think they need a fresh start. The question is who? That's all I would say.
We'll move on to Fulham 1, Crystal Palace 2. Fulham continue their love affair with not winning any football matches. I don't think they're going to do. I'm going to keep saying it. They're not going to win any football matches this season.
That's a love affair.
In the Premier League, it is not going to happen. It is not going to happen. They are horrendous. So much so that Jairo Rijderwald, who looks completely different from the last time we saw him, like 2 years when he first started. I thought, who the hell was that guy who scored that goal? Nice finish, nice setup from Wilfried Zaha. Then Zaha gets on the end of a Batshuayi cross that was pretty nice, and he ends up injuring himself in the process of tapping that ball in. And then Tom Kearney wrapped it up with a nice goal from outside the box. But that was it. That was it, really. It's that spontaneous smash from out of nowhere that might get Fulham to score something, because I don't see them building up anything. I don't see them doing anything of substance, to be honest with you. And that's all I have to say on that game, to be honest with you. But let's talk about Palace for a bit. Good bit of form, good decent few run. So to beat in Fulham, draw against Brighton. It beats United, right, as well. So good couple of games. What is it mid-table, or are they going to continue just trying to survive?
It's about time that Palace started to push on and try and do something. I'm tired of these clubs that come to the Premier League and are happy with doing, let's say, stay in the Premier League, 14th place, 40 points. We good after that. I'm tired of that crap. Push on, try and achieve something. That's the reason why Wilfried Zaha has been screaming to leave for the last 6 years, because he's a player who teams have looked at from a higher level and they've said, well, we can bring him in, and he's not going to stay there. He's going to continue to try and leave if you're a club that is quite happy just being where you are right now. He wants to be ambitious. He's getting older as well. He's not far away from 30 years old. Like, he wants to, you don't have a career where you've been looked at as a key man, where you don't have any accolades behind you. You don't want that kind of career at the end of the day. So I'm happy that they found some form early in the season. Yes, it's early, 6 games, 10 points. They could fall off, they could lose the next 5, and then it's suddenly a problem again. But right now, at least they're getting results in. And their signings were promising. Someone like Ibrahim, I don't want to butcher his first name, Eze. The fact that he came in, that's a good sign. I was going to butcher his first name, so I thought, no, let me never even do it. And it's not even hard to say.
What is his first name? Hold on.
I'm not going to say it, because you say it for me, because, well, I don't want to butcher it.
Everechi.
Huh?
Everechi?
That's it, Everechi. I was going to say something else, bro. I was going to say Everechi or something. So that's why I didn't want to butcher it. But honestly, that's another good signing. It's you're focused on attacking more, because usually we're talking about then signing more defensive players or target man strikers, but they're looking at players that actually have a bit of flair in their game, quick, technical ability. So I'm happy about that. And just quickly on Fulham, if they don't, if they don't win the game here, or even worse, if they break Derby's 11 points record, I don't ever want to see them in this Premier League ever again. I still don't want to see Derby. Listen, when Rooney's there, I would love to see Wayne Rooney back in the Premier League, but leave for another club if you come back. I don't want to see Derby in this Premier League. And if Fulham do the same thing or even worse, hell, even if they get 12 points, don't come back. Don't want to see you ever again. Take Mitrovic and go. I don't want to see them man ever again because that's appalling. It's absolutely appalling.
We'll move on to Manchester. Oh, bloody hell. I don't think we should have to talk about this game because boring as hell. But Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. I think on the One Football app, it says that the best player of the entire game was Edouard Mendy. And that says a lot about the type of match that was on display, to be honest. So what went wrong, Coach, from the very, 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 very beginning of the match?
The selection stank, man. I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing Fred and McTominay in a partnership. And
you want PSG?
I don't care, bruv. Like, real talk, I don't care. No, like, literally, just please understand. Like, Darren T he'll be back. His internet's messed up a little bit, so he'll be back. Like, please understand, right? That how do I even say this properly so I don't offend anyone too tough? Okay.
Offend.
Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher went on pretty much a tirade, more Carragher anyway, a tirade of why Pogba and Fernandes cannot work together in the midfield. And the reason why Scott, McTominay and Fred are starting, and they showed that when Scott, Fred and Bruno start in the midfield three, they haven't lost a game. They didn't want to go and dive further into the fact that most of the games that we've won in that run, Pogba came on for Fred in all of them and made it in the difference like that, literally. And recently, Van der Beek has come on in games, especially PSG and Newcastle, the two games that we needed to win after this guy's club smacked us at our own house. He came and made a difference. So what are they doing? I'm not even mad about Fred, though. Fred is actually playing well. It's Scott McTominay who's playing averagely, but he's getting praise. But the guys that are coming on and making the impact, they're not getting anything. They're not getting any news. It's still, why isn't Van der Beek starting? Or don't rush him in. But every time he's played in the Carabao Cup game or he's come on as a cameo appearance rather, he's performed and he's performed better. So what more do they have to do before they start games? Do you know what I mean? I'm more in favor of, even if it was like Van der Beek starting and not just Pogba, because I feel like Pogba still needs some time out. But if it was just Van der Beek that came in instead of Scott McTominay, you have more creativity, you have better link up, you have better reading of the game because his IQ is higher in the game, and more consistent passing. Because if you see the picture that I saw yesterday of McTominay's completed and failed passes, every time he tried to pass it forward, it failed. So he's not effective. He's not effective. He's not effectively helping us going forward in the game, and that's why we look so toothless. That's why we have to depend on penalties. That's why we have to depend on individual quality. And it was lucky that Daniel James, Juan Mata started, because at least he has that intelligence to drift into good spaces and find passes. Found Rashford because he's not clinical. He couldn't finish that one-on-one. He should have done better. You know what I'm saying? So from the lineup, I was just annoyed, and David was there with me. He saw me effing and jeffing in the hall in front of the students as well. I didn't even care. I was so angry, you know. But we looked better. We looked better when they came on. But other than that, to be honest, the game sucked anyway. The biggest talking point was what's his name? Harry Maguire doing like some more Joe chokehold on a Spilicueta, you know. So
wasn't a penalty though, was it?
That was a blatant penalty.
You sure? I don't think it was. Not really. No, I think if you're supposed to grab players by the neck and choke them out, right? That's how you defend. That's why I thought people defend. No? Oh. Well, my bad.
Maybe in the days of Razor Ruddock and them, man.
Bro, you know. Not even in those days. Not even in those days. That was a horrible.
He thought he was back in Greece with the feds. That's what he
I don't know how. I'm tired of talking about the English interpretation of VR. I'm tired of talking about it. So we won't go with it. Let's talk about Chelsea though. I think the most entertaining part of that entire match, or not match, but just the whole presentation was the back and forth between Evra and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. And I think Hasselbank was saying that it was wise for Chelsea to play defensively, like every man behind the ball, try and be solid, so that builds confidence into the next game. Enough makes a boring game though. But then again, is he correct in saying that they don't want to risk getting absolutely hammered or conceding loads of goals just because they know that the defense isn't as solid as anybody's, to be honest with you?
No, I think that's a terrible approach to go for a game, like especially with all the talent they have in that team. Like they should be trying to play expansive football. Look at the attack; they've got Pulisic, Werner, Havertz, Ziyech on the bench. Mason Mount is all right. Like they've got a lot of good attacking players, and then they were sitting back. They offered nothing in that game. Like United should have won that game on the basis of play. Rashford missed a good chance. And I'm just like, even if your defense is bad, like your Chelsea Football Club, one of the biggest clubs in England, like you should be willing to get out and give you like your best against any team in the league. You should never be sitting back like they did, trying to play counter-attacking football. Like it looked like Jose Mourinho was still in the dugout. Like I was confused. I didn't understand what was going on. But I don't think that's the right way to go about it, especially with the kind of side they have. They really should be trying to control, and it's not the right style of play for the players that they have in the team as well. Like they need to get the players. They're never going to warm up like players that Havertz, Pulisic. They need to get on the ball. They need to string a few passes together, get a couple dribbles going in order for them to get more creative and to actually create some chances. But sitting back against United, I don't know whether the tactic was the counter attack, especially like against United as well. They haven't been on the best of form, so I don't know why that would have been the tactic to sit back and try to hit them on the counter attack.
Well, testament to Frank Lampard and his sort of what he did in the transfer market. That's what I'm trying to say, because it just wasn't balanced enough. It wasn't balanced. I've said it time and time again. It wasn't balanced. You're top heavy in attack, and you're so light in defense. All right, you signed a new keeper because Kepa is abject. But a 36-year-old Thiago Silva, like really, and Ben Chilwell, he's an attacking fullback. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just didn't concentrate on that back at all, or really worked on their spine. So they are weak at the back. It's like having a car, right? And the car's over a cliff, and he's just put it at the front. He's put everything at the front, and it could topple over the precipice any minute. Do you know what I mean? He didn't balance it at all. Put anything there to balance it at the back. So it's his own fault, and I think he's on borrowed time personally. I've been saying it. I keep saying it. I was originally saying he'd be gone by Christmas. All right, maybe I will revise that to the end of the season, but he's only got this season. That is it.
Well, speaking of that idea, it's both these managers seem to be on borrowed time, because Lampard's always got the pressure of Abramovich doesn't take any prisoners, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got under pressure because he's just horrible, just a horrible manager. Who's going to go first? You say Lampard will have survived the season, but I'm not sure, And then Ole might survive the season because of who he is, but I'm not sure about that either. There's a whole bunch of managers. I think today I heard that Nagelsmann was being talked about in terms of Manchester United. That's who they're looking for. And then there's Pochettino, who's also waiting in the wing. So who's going first?
Listen.
Lampard.
I don't know who Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is supposed to be, but the sooner he goes and leaves my life, the better. I'm better having fond memories of him scoring in finals rather than doing what he's doing right now. I'd rather keep it that way. But as for who goes first, I agree. I think it will be Lampard, just because Man United's board is toothless. You've literally got Pochettino sitting at home saying, "Yo, if you take me, I'm here. Like, come and collect me, basically. Come and collect me." He won't say no to the job, in my opinion. Obviously, we know what struggles Ole and previous managements have with the board. I screamed it. I don't just blame Ole for what's going on, but you are not as good a coach as Pochettino. I think that's fact for everyone to know. So I don't know what we're waiting for. But then I did say, it wasn't on here. I think I said it previously somewhere else that after that 6-1, yeah, trust Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to go and get W's. The guy went and go and smacked up PSG. Like, this is why it's annoying. This is why it's annoying. Because I need you to win games on a consistent level. Not when the pressure is on and then it's like, oh yeah, let me now become prime Sir Alex Ferguson. What the heck kind of juju is that? Like, I don't like that. Win games and then lose once in a while and then we confirm that. You know what I'm saying? Don't come in
two 1-L, then 2 victories. What more do you want?
We got smacked 6 at yard, bro.
By who?
I'm just going by your logic. You say you're going to lose sometimes.
By some team that wears white. I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone. Listen.
You shouldn't have brought him on then.
No, but we got smacked 6-1 at yard. And like, for any other manager, that's a sackable offense. Fact. The reason why we didn't sack Alex Ferguson when we got popped 6-1 at home by City is because he has decades of excellence behind him. So he's calm. He loses 6-1, so all right, cool. That's a once in a while thing for Alex Ferguson. He don't get popped like that on a regular basis. But what have you done? What have you done? He got you to third in the chat and you're in Champions League again. So we can go and be tourists. But then I'll say that he beat PSG. Like, bro, I was cussing them out. That day, I woke up that morning, I was like, my players are really going to lose, but see the Eiffel Tower. And we came away with a 2-1 victory. You know what I'm saying? So I just want consistency, man. I want something for me to say, all right, cool. This is why you're manager. This is why you should be there. But regardless, he'll survive. I think more than Lampard anyway.
I've got a question for you, Coach. Yeah, Donny van der Beek. Why did you buy him? Right, my man's just rubbing bench and screwing up his face, and I don't blame him. Yeah. Because you got my man sitting there. You think we'd have beaten you 6-1 if he was on the pitch? I'm not saying he would have changed everything, but he's a very dynamic player. But you insist on like Dan James and what have you. You know what I mean? What is Ole's thinking behind buying this guy, spending the money on this guy, and just not playing him? When he could have come to Spurs, right? And balled out of control. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah, imagine choosing Manchester United over Spurs, eh? Whoa, crazy.
All right, Cahil. It's fine because we're coming to your game in a bit.
So first of all, I want everyone to realize that we were lucky to get Donny van der Beek in the first place, because if COVID didn't happen, Real Madrid would be having him right now. Facts. That's number one. But you see that name you mentioned, Daniel, that fella, yeah. I don't want to disrespect him too tough again, because I kind of feel sorry for him. He's a young player that came from Swansea. He was not at the level. He was winning by Leeds when they were in the Championship. Like, United came out of nowhere. He was never going to say no. You know what I mean? Like, he made that step up. He had a good start, but really and truly, he should be an impact player at the end of the day. But you're starting him in games where the pressure's on, especially against Chelsea and that. Someone like Daniel James, the reason why he suffered so much, in my opinion, is because any other coach that knows that a guy that hasn't got the dribbling skill, hasn't got the biggest IQ, but has the speed to get in behind defenses, you don't play him against teams that play low blocks. That's stupid. He's not going to be the player that has the technical ability or the dribbling ability to beat players or find a pass. He needs space to run in behind it. He's got all the speed to do that. So do it. That's why I want Donny van der Beek starting. That's why I want Juan Mata starting. He starts Juan Mata and he starts Scott flipping Tomine. It's mind-boggling. And you've got a player that can do McTominay's job 5,000 times better. You know what I mean? So honestly, the answer to that question is I don't know. But trust me, I do pray every night that I will see him in the starting lineup. We've got Leipzig next. So if he doesn't start against Leipzig at this point, I'm just going to give up. I'm tired at this point. But yeah, he needs to start and he needs to start soon.
Did you see what Van Basten said? That Van der Beek joining United might be the worst decision of his career.
Well, bro, I didn't say it to you yesterday. I went on Instagram, right? And Donny van der Beek was tagged in a story, and his friends back in Holland when Ajax were slapping goals for fun in that 13-0 game, every goal they scored, they kept tagging him in the story and singing his name. They were mocking it. They are absolutely mocking it. So, like at this point, I'm just, I just want him to enjoy the ride, man. Enjoy himself. That's all. That's what I can say. Just enjoy yourself, man.
Enjoy Manchester.
Go back. Hey, they can't even move calm right now, bruv. COVID's rattling them as well, bruv. It's just suffering all over the place.
Liverpool 2, Sheffield United 1. It was looking a bit shaky for Liverpool at the start of the game when Sander Berge scored a penalty. Then Robert Firmino tapped in a goal. I'm right in saying that's like his first goal at Anfield, like 2 years or something, right?
I think so, probably.
Oh no. Firmino. No, he scored. Yeah. He scored one towards the end of last season. That last game of the season, he scored one there. Finally.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So
it's a second goal win. Yeah, there you go. And Diogo Jota also got on a score sheet as well, making it 2-1. We're all talking about how Liverpool were not going to struggle, but it's going to look very different from when they had Van der Beek. We got Van der Beek on the brain. Virgil van Dijk in the team, and they kind of did for I'd say the majority of that game. They weren't as high as they were before. They weren't quite as rapid as they usually are. Is it going to have a big impact, or are they going to continue to coast by these games and you're only going to feel it when the big boys come through?
Who are you asking, me?
Anybody.
Liverpool.
Oh,
yeah.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But I think when the big boys roll through, right, they're going to struggle a little bit more. That's my personal opinion. We're losing Virgil van Dijk is a massive thing for them. Massive. Yes, they're going to be great in attack. They always are, aren't they? Thiago comes back, and Thiago will come back, and he will add some creativity to the midfield. But yes, I think they're going to concede a fair few amount of goals. Plus, Matip's injured, isn't he? As well.
Yeah, they have to play Fabinho.
Yeah.
So yeah, they can be got at this season. I don't care. They can be got at. But yeah, we'll talk about title aspirations very soon. But yeah, I think Liverpool can be got at personally. Don't even shake your head, bro. Don't even shake your head. Don't shake your head. Yeah, recognize. But anyway, that's my
that's
a recognize.
Recognize. Bloody hell. Is it a simple case of just getting at them, or do you have to respect their front line?
Always got to respect. You have to respect their front line. You have to. There's no two ways about it, man. Their front line is deadly, and they've added Thiago to provide. Even Firmino, you got to be careful of. You know what I mean? Because he nicks in with the odd goal or two calendar year. But yeah, no, you have to respect them. Did you see what Salah was doing the weekend? Like, he was just running through them for fun, man. Nah, man. You got to. And Mane's getting into Mane. Yeah, come on, man. You have to. But I just think, with a good attack, a team with a good attack or a great attack can really get at them and cause them a lot more trouble. This season, personally, it's a huge loss losing Van Dijk, and then to lose Matip on top of it for however long you've lost him for. Yeah, that's my opinion on them anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I think like back on the last question, I think the smaller teams, it could go back to like Liverpool of old, like a couple seasons ago before they got Van Dijk, where they dropped teams against the lower teams within the table. So like, I think against the bigger teams, I don't think they'll struggle too much. I think like they attack the midfield, because the bigger games are always a bit more cagey, and they have that talent with Thiago brought in, and then their attack is deadly. And none of the real top teams' defenses are really that shored up either. So I think those will still be exciting games. But the ones to watch out are the lower league games, like we saw first game. I mean, the the teams against the lower sides. Like first game of the season, Leeds 3-3. So those kind of games that we remember back in the days, Hull were the bogey side. So who knows what can happen? Aston Villa, they dropped points, and this was with Van Dijk. So now losing that leader, that guy, that man, he was the guy for Liverpool. Losing him, I think the smaller sides, they'll go to Anfield, they'll be a bit excited to test out this Liverpool defense. So I think it will be interesting to see. The title race is open. I think it's, if we touch on that later on, I think it's anybody's that can find some sort of consistency.
Man said if Villa can pump 7 into their backside.
Man, he's right though, man. His Beaks corner, whoever you are correct, man. You are correct.
Yeah, Beaks is right, and Beaks knows his stuff. But the way it is even with Van Dijk there, is that Gomez and Trent partnership on the right side of that defense that's scary, man. Like I've spent enough time criticizing Gomez. And Trent, for all that he does, he can't defend for anything. For what he does going forward, and because he can whip a ball in from the right hand side, he can whip a very good ball in. I'm not trying to downplay. He can whip a fantastic ball in, and he's also good at set pieces as well. But because of that, people are now saying, well, this is the modern fullback. No.
Defending is defending.
Defending
is defending. Yeah.
Bro, I said it here last week when I went somewhere to coach and I said, what's the first thing you need to do as a defender? And the kids said to me, be good on the ball. I almost lost my head. For me, that's even insulting. You are a defender. The first thing you have to do is be able to defend. That's your job. That is your role. And then if you have the ability to go forward and do a lot, that's an extra bonus. You know what I mean? That's where now I get into Wan-Bissaka, because Wan-Bissaka is very good defensively. But what do you offer on that going forward side as well? Because that's why the team's so unbalanced trend going forward. Everything's always on the left side. So you have to offer something on the right side also, so you can be a much better fullback. So Trent can't get away with that just because he's good going forward. You have to be good at your primary job. And unfortunately for him, Gomez doesn't look like he's good at it either. And he's playing centre-back. So, if they're going to move Fabinho there, good luck with that, because then I saw Fabinho was doing stumbling against Crystal Palace, against Sheffield United as well. So really and truly, right now, it's just vibes, isn't it?
Just vibes at the back.
Just vibes at the back.
That's jokes. Let's move on to Sunday. We'll start at Southampton. They beat Everton by 2-0. James Ward-Prowse, Che Adams got on the goal sheet. Luca Digne. Well, let's start there with that red card. Was it red or was it just accidental?
That's a yellow for me. I understand why it's given as a red, because he stamped on his foot, but it wasn't like it was nowhere near intentional. He's running. It's one of those ones they're running and then he's trying to plant his foot down to obviously run forward, and he's caught him in the back. So he knew he did damage, but everyone really knows that wasn't intentional. That's why Ancelotti was fuming. He was fuming, and he says he's going to appeal it. But I don't know if they're going to win that, if I'm being honest. Judging by how the FA and referees tend to make the decision these days, I don't think he's going to win that. So it is tough luck, but I wouldn't call that a red card for me. No chance.
Was it a bad day at the office for Everton, who were also like Aston Villa flying at the very beginning of the season, or did Southampton provide the antidote for Everton's just blazing form?
I don't know. They started the season obviously very, very well. We've seen how they started the season, especially with Calvert-Lewin, James Rodriguez started well, Alan, but it's one L. It's 1-L. So I'm taking my time. The L was going to come. They weren't going to go the season unbeaten. So the L was going to come anyway. It was just a matter of time. And Southampton are a team where when they have their day, they sort you out and they sort you out differently. And Ings, put it to him, because if he's not scoring, he's assisting for those players. So Adams finally find his feet also. So it was a good day in the office for Southampton. I just think the hype, it just needed to die down a little bit. They needed that 1-L so everyone can just sort of take their eyes off them. People think, okay, now they're back to whatever. Give them time. Give them time to keep getting better. Maybe add one more centre back, because God Almighty, Michael Keane is appalling. And we already know how we feel about their goalkeeper. So they still have areas to improve in. But
was he at fault for one of the goals this week? I feel like
I wouldn't say so. No, I wouldn't say so. Just because it took a deflection before it bounced through his legs.
The first one did. The second one, no.
The second one's the one I'm talking about. When Che Adams scored, that's what I'm talking about. It took a deflection.
But that was
and bounced off his
deflection.
legs.
That was
Yeah.
deflection. So
So I wouldn't guarantee him for that.
wrong-footed him.
Okay.
Wrong-footed him. I don't think any of the goals were his fault, personally. It was a good finish. It was a good finish from Ward-Prowse. Banger. He just banged it like it was quick. Second goal deflection, Frank Lampard-esque. Very much just wrong-footed him. So we have to give him a little blare this week anyway. Just this week. He'll do it again next week. He'll screw up again.
He's such a bad keeper.
So what you're saying is if he has a good game, they're guaranteed to lose. That's how bad of a goalkeeper he is. Even if he's good in a game, nobody to concede. That's bad. That is bad.
Two guys, Beaks and a guy, boss like Endo. Man spending like I did when I was in year 8, when I was in MSN. But no, the point I think they're arguing about, if you lose 3 players, but the reason why I would side with Beaks, just to address the comments, is because Everton's starting 11 is strong, but their backup is not that strong. And I was very baffled at the fact they let Moise Keane go. I know it's taking some time to settle in, but you needed a backup striker to Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
But Richarlison's also out now, so who is the backup to him? I know Bernard's there, inconsistent. I just don't trust the whole squad. And obviously, Cahil, I know how you feel about certain Alex Iwobi's. So,
these times,
So
Yannick Bolasie didn't make the 25-man squad.
Mm.
Iwobi did.
They dashed Bolasie, man. I don't even know what's happened to him. I haven't seen him in years now. They
don't know what's happened to Darren T, but hopefully be back.
Bolasie.
He went on loan. Don't rate him at all, man.
And no, don't like him. But you know what? He would have provided a really good creative outlet for them right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's just jamming because he denied him a move. I follow him on Twitter, innit? So he was denied a move to Middlesbrough last minute. And now he's been left out of the squad. So yeah, but you would think that it's a strange one, I think.
It's a weird one. I don't. No, he doesn't. But I wouldn't say that they have a depth problem, because if you take any 3 key players out of any team, then any team in the league's gonna struggle. If you take Salah, VVD, and Mane out of Liverpool side, then they're gonna struggle. But that rarely happens in football, especially these days. And then again, to address the depth problem, I think yes, they don't have top quality on the bench.
Wait. Read this.
Iwobi's World Class. Oh, bro.
Is that a joke?
Bro.
Is that a joke?
He must be Nigerian, innit? He must be Nigerian.
Sarcasm.
Good banner, bro. Good banner.
It's got to be a joke. But yeah, to go back to what I was saying, I don't think they have that big of a problem. I think they don't have explosive players, but they have experienced players. They have Gylfi Sigurdsson, they have Bernard, who's also there. Tom Davies, they addressed in the comments, he's not a footballer, but at the start he showed some promise. Defensively, that's where they're struggling in terms of depth. But I think going forward, if Richarlison isn't starting and Calvert-Lewin is, if they swap that around, I have faith in Richarlison to get a few goals here and there. So I think they have depth going forward, but behind, I don't think they have that much depth.
Yeah, I agree.
What's that noise?
Yeah, someone's mic's messing up. Hold on. Let me mute myself. Oh.
Is it mine?
That might be Darren T. It's probably it might be mine actually.
No, it's Darren T. He's not here. Wait. Yeah, it's Darren T.
Okay. I don't know what's happening, but
I'm here. Is it me?
It's stopped now. It's cool now.
Anyway, let's move on to Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Newcastle United 1. Kind of I wouldn't say a boring game, but a slow game, and then it explodes at the very end. Raul Jimenez with it was a great strike. And then Jacob Murphy with a free kick that goes around, that goes around the wall and somehow ends up in the back of Patricia's net. Was that Patricia being wrong side? I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I think keeper's position was a bit poor. I
think it was.
Yeah. Quickly addressing both sides. I mean, Wolves haven't exactly.
Yeah, I think so too.
Was that Darren? I think your connection's moving a bit dodgy. Darren T.
Is it me?
Yeah, connection. It's a bit behind.
Okay. Shall I log out and log back in again?
Yes, please.
All right. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah.
We won't miss you for Tottenham, or maybe we will. That might be pleasant.
No, you won't.
As we wait for Darren to come back, Wolverhampton haven't exactly lit the league on fire that they usually have. Newcastle are always going to be struggling, but what seems to be the problem with Wolves? Is it the fact that they've got too many games coming up now, or is it just they had a good run?
The fires died out with them. They were that surprise. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call them a surprise package, but obviously we saw that they managed to attract people like Ruben Neves in the Championship, and then they came up and they're attracting more players, and they started off very well, but they're not the team that you look at anymore. And we all know they could pose a threat, but they're not seen as special as when they first came. You know what I mean? It's not the same anymore. So for me, they're still a good team, but they've always been inconsistent. It's just the fact that they came from the Championship and they were finishing in the top half. So it was seen as a big achievement. But in reality, if you look at the players they signed, really and truly, and on top of the manager that they have, that should be something that they should be achieving. You know? So yeah, they're not special. I think they're a good side. But right now they look like they're in a place where they're not looking to progress, or they're looking to regress. That's the word. Flipping. No, what's happening?
Live 3 attempts. You got there eventually.
I got there eventually. But yeah, they just. I don't know what's next for Wolves. That's the point. You can look at a team and say, it's like what I said about Palace. Palace saw a team, they'll finish 14th, 15th, and they'll be comfortable. That's why someone like Zaha will look to leave, because what are you doing to get better? Wolves don't want to have to do that with maybe Ruben Neves in about a year or two, because he can say, we're finishing between 7th and 9th. That's great, but I want to play in Champions League. I want to compete for a title. So what's next? That's the reason why, as soon as Liverpool announced their interest in Diogo Jota, he was gone like that. He didn't waste any time. He left. So I don't know. It's they're just there right now. To be honest, they're just there, in my opinion. This is a bit one.
I say Man City won't get top 3.
That's a big.
That's a big shout.
That's
a big shout. Let's skip ahead to Monday. I think we should skip ahead to Monday, right? Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Down to the big.
No complaints.
Wait! No! Arsenal.
Oh yeah.
We almost forgot.
Wait, why is he saying that?
Cahil, you think you're slick?
My God,
You think you are slick?
Hey, it almost worked. It almost worked.
You remember that? Yeah,
I was waiting for you guys to clock. I was waiting for you guys to clock. He was like, "Oh yeah, let's go Monday. Sounds great." Yeah, no.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you. Put your boy in line, man. Bring your boy in line, man. Trust me, man.
Arsenal 0, Leicester City 1. Yeah, there's a lot of corn that needs to be taken. I would say hindsight is a wonderful thing, but yeah, I don't know. It was so the lineup. It didn't impress me, but I was happy to see that we were playing 4-3-3 to start with. But then hindsight, where hindsight comes into it, is like, of all the teams to start playing 4-3-3 against, why would you choose Leicester for one of the best counter-attacking sides in the Premier League? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you could have used Sheffield, you could have tried it against West Ham to just build your confidence, but no, you try it against Leicester. And boy, they took advantage because Jamie Vardy who came back from injury, scored the winner in the 80th minute. Nice assist from Cenk Under, but the word that obviously is on everybody's lips nowadays, especially this year, is pre-assist, which to me is just like a pass. It's a pass. I don't know why pre-assist is the terminology's changed. It was a great pass from Yuri Tielemans to find Under, who then found Vardy. But what went wrong for Arsenal?
You know what?
They're Arsenal.
Yeah. So you know what?
They're Arsenal. Hold on. No, I'm addressing that. They're Arsenal. Last trophy, big man. Last trophy. Move along.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All right.
Fine. Yes, you won the FA Cup. You scraped the FA Cup and what have you. But you know what? You're poor. You've been poor for a minute. Yeah, you're Arsenal. That's what you're just a banter club right now. That's what it is. Yeah. You make one signing, have a whole entire funky house rave outside the Emirates, video shoots and all sorts. You know what I mean? It's not the Emirates anymore. It's flipping what, Silks and Spice or what? I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Your team is just banner, okay? So, okay, yes, you won you jammed your way to a trophy, but anyway, let's carry on.
I would say so. There's a question in the comments that says, "Who has Arteta improved bar Xhaka?" Unai Emery has been a better, in my opinion. I don't think Unai Emery is better. I think in terms of playing a nicer brand of football, definitely. But has he improved Xhaka? I think Xhaka was trash at the beginning. He's trash now. But I say the problems with Arsenal, especially in that match, was that Lacazette was far too wasteful, man. That header that he completely missed. Yes, he scored from the corner. Question one, was that offside?
I
was Xhaka interfering with the goalkeeper?
I think, yeah, I guess that's what they're trying to say, but Kasper Schmeichel didn't look too fussed about it because it looked like he wasn't going to get there anyway. This offside thing, right? VAR is a mess in general, man. I don't even want to go into a rant about it because there was a shocking decision in the Liverpool game as well with the penalty. But I mean, they called it offside. It was still early in the game. It was still enough time for you guys to get a W in that game anyway. And like I said, missing that chance.
3-0.
Like 3-0.
Missing that chance. What my beef was with you in this game, actually, it's more of your fans, actually. Is this, so they were screaming at Mustafi, who, again, he did make a mistake for the goal, absolutely. But my problem is this. Number one, he's just come back from an injury. And I know they're talking about his fitness, but for me, fitness wasn't the issue. If you're 100% to play, that's one thing. But your match sharpness, how you clock into things is different. Number two, they're screaming at him. Why was it that Bellerin, Mustafi, and Gabriel was so far to the right side, and Kieran Tierney was all the way on the other side, technically by himself? Thirdly, Granit Xhaka has never been good defensively. He's never been a defensive midfielder anyway. So him
He's never been good.
Okay, there's that too. but I see that point, and it's like they're screaming at Mustafi saying, "Oh, you should have tracked the run." But the point is, you're going to be confused as a defender because you've got three of you in a four-man backline. You've got three of you all on one side. You've got one guy complete by himself on the other side, which leaves more than enough space for Cenk Under to run into. He was free, and they're talking about, oh well, why didn't Xhaka face to track the run? Again, he's not a defensive midfielder. He hasn't got that IQ. He's never done that. Let's be honest, he's never done that. He's never been the guy to track and run and stop it. So it was made easy for them from that. So for me, Gabriel was to blame. Xhaka, yes, you have to be aware. So I guess he's to blame as well. Mustafi's to blame also because he didn't move back quicker when the ball was played in the first place. You know, get back into your box, try and sense any danger just in case and sniff it out. Other than that, though, after what? After Lacazette missed that chance, what did you do? You know what I mean? And again, Arteta, Aubameyang, Jesus Christ, left wing, right wing, never the striker. I understand last season he scored goals from left wing. Congratulations, sir. Because
the season before that, he scored goals from the striker position, bro. So that argument's completely out the window. It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. What I was going to say that yes, he did that from left wing because you spammed the left wing play so much that he was eventually going to get chances. That's going to happen. But everyone and in their right mind knows this guy has developed as a striker. He's a born striker, and he gets goals from the striking position. So just because he's had one season out of the left wing scoring goals, I don't know why Arteta even you took off. You brought in Eddie Nketiah to go into the middle. Saka has played centre mid, right wing. The guy is a left wing winger. Literally, you put him in this position. You put Aubameyang in his position. You can do whatever you want to do on the right with Willian or Pepe.
No. With Pepe. I don't want Willian touching the pitch.
There's not much difference at the moment. Not much difference at the moment. I'll tell you that. But anyway,
stop it. No, but that's the thing. I don't understand with this desire to play Lacazette. He's never been. He's never. I wouldn't say not good. I would say he's never been consistent enough at Arsenal. And he's just that happens all the time. He misses key chances. Like he was lucky against Liverpool, and then he missed a golden opportunity to make it 2-2. Then this one came along, and it was he just missed the header, completely missed it, and he under no pressure, didn't see anybody, even a guy that was blindsiding him. So him missing it makes no sense. And dare I say, I miss Giroud. He's making me miss Giroud. That's insane.
That's peak.
That's insane. Yes, I understand he's a hard worker, but bloody hell, play Aubameyang up top, man. Play Saka on the left, play Pepe on the right. It's not like a few seasons ago where I think the first season under Emery where we didn't have a left winger. We literally have two people are comfortable playing on the wing. Their impact doesn't really matter. They're positionally, that's what they know. That's what they do. They know the defensive game. They know the offensive game. Aubameyang, he's a bad winger. He can score goals, yes, but he's a bad winger. I don't trust him on the ball. I don't trust him tracking back. So what's the point of playing him there? So that means you're defensively lacking on the left-hand side in every single game. It makes no sense, but I don't know, man.
Do you know what, right? You can tell Arteta's from the Pep school of the Pep school of management, but they make completely inexplicable tactical decisions because they do. Both of them do that. Do you understand? Because look, you are right? If I'm talking with my football head on rather than my I hate Arsenal head on, right? It's a no-brainer. Saka on the left. Aubameyang is central. That's all he is. Central. You don't play that guy on the wing, right? He gets goals. He's no Harry Kane, but he gets goals, right? And
settle down, bro.
He's no Harry Kane. Come on now. Right? On the right-hand side, you get Pepe because Pepe is very good at cutting in and curling them in top corner. You've got it set. I've always wondered why. I've always thought Arsenal's front three will be dangerous, right? This is before the emergence of Saka. I didn't realize Lacazette was going to be so poor, but now you've got Saka. It's just a no-brainer. But those are some of the things that Pep's done in his time. Do you know what I mean? You know, not starting Leroy Sané or selling Leroy Sané when he's like he was Young Player of the Year the season before. You know, I can remember against Spurs in the Champions League where Sané was on the bench. You know what I mean? And I don't think they would have lost that if Sané was on the bench. He makes some really bad, weird tactical decisions. And I think sometimes they're trying to be so left field, right? They just get it wrong. They just get it totally wrong and are too scared to admit it. So I think that's where Arteta is with... That's where I think Arteta is. He's not a bad manager. I think he should... I've always said he's going to come good for Arsenal. I'm waiting to see... No, I'm not waiting to see, actually. No, I expect that. You know, I kind of expect he's going to... But he's doing some really dumb stuff, to be honest with you. I don't get it, but I like it.
Just want to address something in the comments. My guy is saying Lacazette is better than Martial. So I've gone to transfer market.
He's better at celebrating.
Well, you know, I've gone to transfermarket.co.uk, and I'm sure you're not talking about Anthony, but there is a Johan Marshall, if you're talking about him, a Marshall Yao, or a Marshall Robin. So if you're talking about those guys, then yeah, I believe you. But Anthony, nah,
No.
nah,
No.
don't lie to yourself like that, brother.
It's not even close. Not even close.
It's not exactly.
Not even close. Go let him sit next to Bobby Firmino. Like, you're laughing about it. Right? Bobby Firmino couldn't even score his home ground last year, man. It's cool. Like, go chat over there, man.
We'll move on to yesterday's games, but we'll breeze past the first one. Brighton Hove Albion 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Jake Livermore own goal, and Grant scored for West Brom. Two teams in a relegation battle. To be honest with you, I don't see much coming from both of them. To be honest with you,
Brighton may survive. You know, they've been playing some all right. They played some all right football. You know,
Norwich played all right football last season.
Hey, smoke.
Oh, smoke.
I did say Brighton would get relegated, but what I'm seeing of them, you never know. If they survive, I won't be too upset. I will say with West Brom, I just want to, Carlin Grant. I've been sort of watching him from his Charlton under 23s, and he was at Charlton banging in goals, went to Huddersfield, scored a few in the Prem, and then in the Championship as well. He's gonna score I would say a lot of goals for West Brom. I reckon they'll get 10 this season, but they'll still go down because the rest of them suck. But
yeah,
I just want to shout out to him that he's definitely one to watch. And maybe sort of a mid-table team may snap him up after West Brom get relegated. But yeah,
for me, get them both going with Fulham. Don't want to see them here.
both Brighton and West Brom.
Yep, don't want to see them here. Get them out.
I think Brighton are a decent side. I won't lie to you. Like when I watched Brighton, I think it was first game of the season against Chelsea. They showed good play going forward. Like Lamptey is a good player.
Oh yeah.
Who's the guy they have left wing? What's his name? Trossard. Yeah, Trossard. They're good. I think they're the best of the bottom sides, like the ones in the relegation. But I think West Brom are just terrible. I think they'll go down. I think they'll be bottom of the table as well. Yeah. That's about it.
Below Fulham.
Yeah, I don't like West Brom. I watched them first game of the season against Leicester. They didn't really show me anything. I feel like they've been lucky in some of their games. Like Chelsea, I feel like they've been flat with some of the results. They've got some good players in Pereira and what's his name? That is
Ghana. Yeah,
they've got some good players, but outside those two guys, they really don't have anything.
So David, you're making a wonderful point, but this comment it's rattled me. Laka came to Arsenal to play Champions League, and no one has happened. Oh, that's so rude. That is so rude.
That's so deep.
Blimey.
That's so deep.
Blimey. I was listening, David, and I absolutely disagree with you saying that West Ham are going to finish bottom. Fulham are going to finish bottom. There is no debate.
Fulham even going to get any? Fulham got any points, or they got 1 point, innit?
They've all got 1 point. Fulham, Brighton, and West Brom. I think
West Brom have 2. Brighton have only got 1 point.
No, Burnley. Sorry, yeah. Brighton have more than that.
So Fulham have 1, Sheffield have 1, Burnley have 1, West Brom have 3.
Okay.
Brighton have 5. And in 15th place, Manchester United have 7. Just what I mentioned. Just mentioned 15th place,
Woo.
Let's get to
the criteria for strikers holding up play. Then go and sign Mikel Antonio, bro. Man, talking about Martial and Lacazette, bro.
Bro, he'd score more goals than fucking Lacazette, and that's for sure. That's for certain. But we'll finish in the final game, and obviously the Spurs fans have to have their voices heard for some reason. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Burnley 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. And before we start with the title challenge propaganda, just settle yourselves. Just settle yourselves.
I know what's coming.
Settle yourselves. And P.S. F. Sean Dash. Thank you. But that's the only.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is the only good from that result.
I was waiting for that.
David,
Thank you, Cahil.
David, that is 3inMidfield heritage. This guy hates your dash to the core.
Yes.
Sean Dash football is trash, bro.
That was the only good thing I took from that victory. So you got lucky. You got lucky. That's what I'm thinking.
We did.
Ton
It was a
with
classic
the goal.
Mourinho style win. It was a classic Mourinho style victory.
Oh,
like,
it's classic when it's for Tottenham, but when it's for Manchester United or Chelsea, it's a boring Jose Mourinho. It's classic now, is it?
Listen, if you see me on Twitter, I'm Mourinho out. I don't like Mourinho, but people are banging on about the results, the titles, the trophies. If I'm gonna get it like this, I'll take it. Listen, if there's any season, I think better than a couple seasons ago, I think this is the next best chance for us to win the league. Now, I know there's no consistency anywhere. Liverpool have gone down a notch now with Van Dijk going. City are looking to be all over the place. I think if we can get some consistency, get that Mourinho style, like just grind out games, it's up for grabs.
Louder.
I'm telling you. And Gareth Bale back in the side. Oh my God. Gareth Bale hasn't even got a run of games.
He's home.
Gareth Bale's home, but
first season back.
That game against West Ham, he wasn't feeling comfortable, was he?
Yeah, well, it's like, well, you know what? One mistake, you're gonna go one mistake. You concentrate on Lacazette, yeah. Come on now, levels to this thing. So now, yes, David, you said exactly that. Listen, yesterday's result, yeah, that first half, dead, boring. We were gonna be very cautious because of what do you mean? I just saw that, what do you mean? There's pair of us. What are you talking about, brother? What are you talking about? And Chelsea, you're talking like with Chelsea.
Hey, that's a Black Spurs fan, like it's a new thing, bro. What's going on?
Come on, man. Come on. You only just started watching Prem. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I was saying. Right? The reason I enjoyed yesterday's result so much is because we ground out that win. There are other, and I will say this, I love Poch, but I think under Poch we would have lost or drawn that. Do you understand? And Mourinho is giving us that steel and that resilience that is required to push for titles and for trophies. Yeah, he is. West Ham was a freak result. It was their cup final. 8 minutes of madness. Yeah, 8 complete minutes of madness. Look how they were celebrating DVDs and all sorts, mugs, commemorative mugs and all sorts. You know what I mean? That was fine. But I saw enough at that West Ham game to say, yeah, we're in this thing. We are in it. I don't care what anybody says. Even my fellow Tottenham fans, like in the group chat, are just looking at me like I'm mad. I'm not mad, right? It is anybody's. It's up for grabs right now. As you said, David, like Liverpool, their backline is going to be tested. City, psh, that's all I got to say about City. Light work. They ain't beating us for how long? You know what I mean? Right. So I'm not scared. I'm not scared of City. I mean, Everton. They look good. You're probably going to look at the dark horses like Leeds and what have you. They I think they're going to be, well, not a title challenge, you know what I mean? But they're going to beat a lot of big teams this season. But I can't see, it's the best chance we've had since, 16, 17?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the best chance.
But this time, now we've got resilience.
You got Eric Dyer.
This time we've got a winner. We've got a winner as a manager. Yes. But he had a good game yesterday, to be honest with you. We had Eric and Toby. Right, we had Eric and Toby at the back. Yes, it was slow and what have you, but to nullify
a broken clock is good 2 times a day, man. Talk about good game. Bro, come on, man.
Okay,
is Eric Dyer
rubbish? Was he? I'm not saying that I like Eric Dyer. I'm a big fan of Eric Dyer. He almost.
You realise he's your main centre back?
He's not our main centre back.
He is your main centre back.
We've got Toby. We've got Davinson Sanchez and Joe Roden is there now, right?
But I can't like Mourinho favors Dyer, and I don't know why. I don't really like Dyer.
He's loved him from day. He just loved him from day. But he loves Lamella as well. He loves Lamella, but Lamella came in and did a job.
Yeah,
but then Poch loved Lamella as well. But Lamella came in and did a job. He's, you know what I mean? You need that sort of rough ass against teams like Burnley. don't get me wrong. If he sold Lamella, I wouldn't be too fast or what have you. But he did a job yesterday. Everybody played their position yesterday, and I can't say anything. I can't say anything bad about them. Kane and Son. That's what I got to say. Everybody did when they buck up Kane and Son.
Two questions. One, are you enjoying the current role that Harry Kane's playing? And two, is Son probably the most underrated player in the Premier League?
Oh yes.
Is Son underrated now? Everybody rates him.
I think
And
now
Beats
he's
cool. Stop
rated,
talking nonsense. Stop talking nonsense. I beg. Yeah, I'm looking at the comment. Complete and utter nonsense. Yeah, yeah. Stop typing. Stop typing. Turn off your computer now, bro.
Hey, listen, everyone wants smoke for you two, you know. Everyone's coming for you guys.
Don't care.
To be realistic, you know, I didn't enjoy yesterday's game. I didn't enjoy the performance. Like I said, it was classic Mourinho style. But like I said, I'm Mourinho out. I didn't enjoy it. I thought like with the players we had in the side, I liked the lineup. I didn't really like Ben Davies in there instead of Reguilon, and then Doherty. I think he's a bit suspect. He hasn't really started his Tottenham career that well, and Aurier had a good last game, so I would have probably slotted in Aurier. But other than that, it was a very attacking, good lineup. But then things weren't just clicking, and I don't know what the issue was. Wait, is everyone gone?
Everybody's gone.
Everything just disappeared. I was baffed. But yeah, I wasn't happy with the performance. Like, if this was any other team in the league, if it wasn't Burnley, we probably would have lost. Like, if we're being real, Harry Kane saved us. Like, if we conceded first, we were done for.
Yeah, we'd have lost that game. We'd have lost that game. I'm sure. Yeah, for certain. But you know what? He did clear it, and we didn't lose it, and it's that simple, right? I would say with Doherty, he needed to start because he's surer in defense. Him against Aurier versus Dwight McNeil, I'm not sure. That's a penalty waiting to happen. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm fine. I'm okay with that. I was okay with the lineup, and I understand why he chose that lineup. A shout out to Dombele as well, because he had a really good game. I'd like to see a few more, through balls and some more incisive passes. But he did really well considering he got taken up at half time last season at the same ground. I just think that there's something different to us. There's a little extra to us. Yeah. And Jose's instilling that winning mentality in us slowly but surely, because you could see usually second half, if we're bad first half, second half we just come out the gate and we're different because of because of his halftime T talk. Yeah, Endo, you know what? You look Endo. Yeah, you stop typing as well. I mean, yeah, take your fingers off the keyboard, start cracking your fingers, and start thinking about things. You know what I mean? Thinking about things. Okay, because where was True and Zabi? Where was True and Zabi at Old Trafford against Tottenham? Where was he? All right, tell me that. Thank you. Man. So tell me that though. Yeah, tell me that. Right, stop the nonsense talk, please. I beg. Okay, but anyway, yeah.
I was gonna say, to address the question. So the first one on Harry Kane and his deep lying role, I enjoy it because he's an amazing striker. He's definitely the best. Watching him yesterday, he was, oh my God, his touches. He don't want to look sharp and has that creativity. And we don't have anyone else to support him and to fill in with the creative role. I've seen, I was complaining yesterday to Coach about I don't want Son on free kicks. I don't think he can take free kicks.
No, he can't be the first man. Can't be the first man.
He can't be the first man. He strikes the ball to score, not to whip it in and to assist. He does it. He's not the man. And once Lamella came in, if it was Son on that corner, we're not scoring. That's the thing. We need Son and Kane in the box. Lamella, once we've lost Eriksen, we've lost that set piece sort of thing. And Ndombele is not really the attacking midfielder we need. I like him more in that sort of box-to-box role. So we're lacking that bit of creativity, and that's why Kane has to come in. He has to drop deep, pick up the ball because he's comfortable with it. He can ping a pass. He really does it all for us. That's why I say he's the best player. He can bang in the goals. He has amazing passing range. He's absolutely sensational. So I don't mind. We need him to drop deep, I think, with this side, and it works with Son. And then with Son being underrated, I think he's criminally underrated when it comes to the top strikers in the league. People are comparing him to Rashford and stuff like that. But whenever we're mentioning the best strikers in the league, he never really gets a word in. It's always Salah, Mane, Kane. Rashford always gets in ahead of him. People always saying, "Oh, Rashford's better than Son." I don't believe that really. I think Rashford lacks a bit of the end product, but Son is just clinical, really.
Sensational. Sensational. Regular 20 goals a season. Oh, yeah. Regular 20 goals or thereabouts a season, man.
I firmly believe that if Son had that one-on-one Rashford had against Chelsea, Son would have scored that.
Oh, you'd buried it.
I firmly believe that. But that's the difference.
You know what? One criticism I will give Son is that sometimes he takes too many touches on the ball.
Yeah,
sometimes he just needs to just. Sometimes it's just like one touch, bang. Do you know what I mean? But that is one criticism I do have for him, and he could score even more or assist even more if he thought about it more on the ball. Do you know what I mean? He needs to be a quicker thinker, and that's the one criticism I do have of him. Yeah, but right now it's clicking with him and Kane, and Kane is understanding. The thing is, Kane is adapted to Son's style of play. And their understanding is amazing now. It's amazing. So, and I think Jose has worked with them because Harry Kane dropping deep, sort of under Poch, wasn't great for us. But Harry Kane dropping deep under Jose, it's just clicking into place. So, watch this space. Is all I will say.
This space.
So just to retort on a point of Mourinho instilling winning mentality at clubs hasn't worked out for the past 3. But anyway, we must finish there.
Don't try it. That's not true.
That's not true. He won. What is it? 2 trophies with United. 2.
Winning mentality. Let's stop it there. Stop it. Not true. Come on now. Look at Man United. Winning mentality.
Title at Chelsea. Title at Real Madrid.
But how do you use those clubs, though?
Instilling winning mentality. Winning mentality.
That's my king. That's my emperor.
That's your king. Yeah. Okay then.
That's my king. After Zach Ferguson, he's the emperor. But right now,
he is. Right now.
Mourinho is Michael Jackson. The rest of them are Tilo. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Tilo and Jermaine and William brothers.
That man there.
We'll wrap it up there. David, where can they find you?
Well, there's a lot of underscores actually. Darren, does anyone want to go first so I can count how many underscores I got on my
team? There's 8 of them. I had to count when I tagged you in the tweet. There's 8 of them. It's absolutely ridiculous.
8.
There's 8. His first 8, and then he's even got a number at the end of his name.
Wow. I've only got 1.
You can find me at there's 8 underscores David underscore, and that's my app.
8 underscore David underscore. Right.
I just wanted David, but they weren't letting me have it, man. So I had to keep adding underscores.
Fair enough. Darren T, where can they find you?
At Mr. Darren underscore 1 underscore T. On Twitter. Sorry, on Twitter.
Coach, where can they find us?
You can find us at 3inMidfield on Twitter. You can find the 3inMidfield podcast on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and of course right here on YouTube at 3inMidfield Podcast. Boom.
This has been another episode of the 3inMidfield Podcast. Good night.
Guarantee someone's beef, bro.
I said, come outside.
Come outside. Come outside. I'm ready for my man, sir. I'm ready for